Well, the NBA offseason is here, and we're already seeing some big moves. Marcin Gortat, the starting center for the Bucks, among many players retiring at the end of the season. Another veteran hanging it up is Vince Carter. Played for the Nets in his final season, went back to the Nets, 21 years, 43 years old. He retires, as does Jamal Crawford and Kyle Korver, both former players in New York as well. And Vince Carter, elite Vinsanity, no surprise, he gets inducted into the Hall of Fame. A couple of other draft picks were thrown in. A top 5 protected first pick going New Orleans' way via Washington, another first rounder thrown in as well. Another trade we saw, the Celtics trading with the Charlotte Hornets. The Hornets, their pick courtesy of Memphis, goes to Boston. Cody Zeller heading Boston's way. So the draft got underway, and as you can see, fans were sounding off. LaMelo Ball, a lot of fans not too happy. Of course, he didn't play college ball, but a lot of hype surrounding him. Magic get Cole Anthony. Sacramento Kings, Tyrese Halliburton. Anthony Edwards went 1 overall to Minnesota. And look at some of these words about Edwards. Best pick ever. The MJ of this draft. Timberwolves in good hands and made that deal to get the number 1 overall pick. Gave up Andrew Wiggins, but probably worth it. So the draft lottery occurred and things got crazy. The Pelicans won the number 1 overall pick by a big surprise. The lottery got very shaken up. But then we see this blockbuster trade. The Timberwolves, with their eyes on maybe Anthony Edwards, maybe LaMelo Ball, they trade for the number 1 overall pick. Zion Williamson gets thrown in as a 3-team trade. The Wizards give up on Zion after 1 season. A good rookie season, not a great rookie season. Also dealt with some injury. He goes to New Orleans. Andrew Wiggins, who was big on the T-Wolves this year, he now goes to Washington. The defending champion Los Angeles Lakers kept Anthony Davis as we got into free agency. 5 years, max contract, so he'll be sticking around as the Lakers go for back-to-back. Couple of splashes here. The Chicago Bulls making a move. Tough last couple of seasons, but DeMar DeRozan will now join the team, a 4-year deal, while Mike Conley heading to the Jazz after a season in Orlando on a 3-year contract. Draymond Green heading back to Golden State, and you see there more about Conley as the Jazz Kemba Walker experiment didn't work out, so Conley now the point guard to go with Donovan Mitchell. The Draymond Green deal was big. 5 years max contract, so Green, who's dealt with injuries, hasn't played particularly well. The Warriors sticking with him and keeping him with Steph Curry. Now the Seattle Sonics, one of the worst teams in the NBA last season, didn't even get that great of a draft pick either, so they didn't have the lottery work out, but they had a lot of money for their 3rd season as an expansion team. And they make moves here. Kemba Walker, 3 years, $106 million. Didn't have a great season, but now a chance for a resurgence as the Sonics willing to spend in year 3 of the Seattle Sonics' second stint in the NBA. And then a blockbuster trade. The Los Angeles Clippers. They bring in Paul George to pair with Kawhi Leonard. Chris Middleton opted out of his contract. The Middleton-Leonard combo didn't really pay off major dividends for the Clippers. They bring in George in a 2022 pick swap for a package centering around Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who had a standout performance in the postseason last season. The Rockets, who won the championship 2 seasons ago, starting to break things down. Chris Paul, a lot of money. Suns wanted him. Rockets clear some cap space. They send Paul to Phoenix for a package centering around TJ Warren along with Josh Jackson and a 2023 first-round pick. And social media was buzzing. Chris Broussard talking about Chris Paul. Of course, the Rockets now with a lot of free money. Some people didn't think it was a great move, but Houston starting to move on, and you see a youth movement in Oklahoma City. They stick with Russell Westbrook, but Paul George out to the Clippers. So Houston and OKC potentially both beginning rebuilds. As we mentioned in the draft, Anthony Edwards, the number 1 pick. And you see some great words on Edwards as Minnesota took him number 1 overall back in that draft. And now we get to the Summer League. LaMelo Ball on full display for the Hornets. Anthony Edwards played pretty well for the T-Wolves, but by this point, it had gotten down to 4 final teams. You've got the Los Angeles Lakers, even playing well in the Summer League. The Dallas Mavericks, who made some solid acquisitions in the draft and with some young players. The Pistons, a young team, drafted Isaiah Stewart and Killian Hayes. And then you've got the Charlotte Hornets, now led by LaMelo Ball. In the first semifinal, it was the Los Angeles Lakers taking care of business, led by Kendrick Nunn, to take down the Dallas Mavericks 111-101. A dominating defensive effort from the Hornets, as Jamie Underwood, their leading scorer, also LaMelo Ball, PJ Washington in double figures. 89-67, the Hornets move on to the championship to face the Lakers. And here's a quick peek at the game action. Lakers, a lot of strength. And you see Kendrick Nunn. What a summer league for him. And he finds Jamario Jones inside for the big dunk. Despite that, though, the Hornets edged the Lakers 98-93 to claim the Summer League chip. Kendrick Nunn, though, ends up being the MVP of the Summer League. And now it sets us up just right for the start of the NBA season very soon. And one other notable superstar on the move very late in the offseason. It took a while for Chris Middleton to get signed, but he finds a place with the Sixers. So the Sixers now with a great roster: Ben Simmons, Middleton, Embiid, and Cousins to lead the way for Philly into the new season. Well, that's all she wrote here for our little recap of the off-season. So the NBA season coming up just around the corner.